Today we're making the pasta salad version of the TikTok viral Italian grinder salad. Y'all, this recipe is so good. If you remember last year, if you're a TikTok user, you know how popular that Italian chopped grinder salad was. But today we're making the pasta salad version, which might even be a little bit better. This recipe is so good, so easy, and ready in less than 30 minutes. This one's great for those summer barbecues or make it for Mother's Day lunch or dinner. It is fantastic, so let's get to it. This recipe is really known for being loaded with deli meats and cheeses. So I'm gonna be using a combination of turkey, ham, and then I've got some pepperoni here. I also like salami a lot for this recipe, but I just had pepperoni in the fridge, so we're using that. And then as far as cheeses go, you can use provolone, which is super yummy and the most common cheese. I'm gonna be using a combination of Monterey Jack and a little bit of mozzarella. I had some cheese sticks. I'm just trying to use up some stuff in the fridge today, but those are gonna be really good choices. Provolone is always a fantastic choice too. We are also gonna be boiling a large pot of water for our pasta. This recipe is definitely a summer favorite. It is completely loaded with deli meats and cheeses, so we're getting all that protein, and then we have this tangy grinder salad dressing that is just out of this world. You guys are gonna absolutely love this one. I've got my meat chopped up right now, and I've just used some pepperoni that I've just chopped up into smaller pieces. I like everything to be really bite-sized for this recipe. Same thing with the cheese. I've just gone ahead and cubed it, or if it's cheese sticks, just slice it into pieces. For the rest of our prep, we have some lunch meat. I have some ham and turkey. You wanna use like oven gold and honey ham, or just like a deluxe version for this so you don't have too many different flavors. Cut it into some grid lines, into bite-sized pieces, and then we have some pepperoncinis. You're just gonna give this a quick chop. Save those juices if you can because they taste so good in the salad. Then we've got a yellow onion. You can also use red for this recipe if you'd rather, and just give it a nice dice. We have a garlic clove, and then we're just gonna chop up some iceberg or romaine hearts. You only need a half a cup for this, and here's a husband sighting too. Once our pasta water comes to a boil, we're gonna go ahead and add in our pasta. I am using a gemelli, which is like the same thing as rotini, it's just a little bit different shaped, but you want a similar size to that. I'm also only using 8 ounces of pasta. We want a nice variation of like deli meats to pasta to lettuce, so we're not using a whole ton of pasta, just 8 ounces. Maybe the best part about this salad is that we're gonna make it all into one bowl. We're gonna start with our dressing, which is this creamy, tangy dressing that is just absolute perfection. It has tanginess from red wine vinegar, and then we're adding in some mayonnaise. So we're just gonna add it all into our bowl and then give it a good whisk. I am starting off with a 1/3 cup of mayo. I like Hellmann's, but you can also use the Duke's. Then I just have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of a red wine vinegar. Then we have just the garlic clove that we chopped up. And then we have a combination of spices. I am using oregano, garlic powder, salt, and pepper for this recipe. And then we're just gonna give it a really good whisk. Then once I get that all nice and creamy, I like to go ahead and add in my pepperoncinis with all those juices. Sometimes I even add a little bit of juice from the jar if I want it to be a little bit spicy. Once your pasta is al dente, which means firm when bitten into, go ahead and dump it into the colander. We are gonna rinse this pasta with cold water for a few minutes. Even take your hand and just like mix everything up so that everything gets really cold. We also want it really dry, so we're gonna shake it out the best we can. Once we get our pasta super rinsed with cold water and really dry, it is time to assemble this pasta salad. It is super, super important that it is cold and dry, because especially cold, because we don't want it melting the cheese like as soon as it hits the salad. It is just gonna ruin the whole thing. So make sure it's really nice and cold. If yours feels hot still, just keep rinsing it with some cold water in a colander and it will get cold. And then just make sure it's really nice and dry. It doesn't have to be perfect. To assemble our pasta salad, we're gonna go over the dressing with our pasta, and you can see I just got water in mine. I broke my own rule. Then we're gonna go deli meats and cheeses. Next we've got our lettuce. Make sure this is really nice and dried. Our yellow onion. We're gonna go banana peppers right in the middle. I didn't cut these or anything. I just got them right out of the jar, and then just toss this up. This is seriously so good. You have to give it a really good toss because all that dressing is sitting on the bottom, so make sure to give it a really good toss. That's it, you guys. We're all done with this Italian grinder pasta salad. This recipe is so good, a must make for spring and summer. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a like and make sure to subscribe for new recipes every single week. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye. You guys, I'm gonna make this on repeat. It is so good.